Oh, okay, so it's just me.
And just to explain, like, is, the process of getting approved, if the state's gonna approve us, stuff like that. So I have partners in place already. I can show the commission, the planning and zoning, actual provisional licenses, it's not an issue. But the process is that we actually have to build the facility out, and it has to be inspected in like a 25, 50%, 75%, 100% mechanism for us to actually succeed in approval. So it's like they basically make us get zoning first, then we have to invest all the money, meet all the criteria, and then, and only then, we receive the actual final license. So I really appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to do that and prove ourselves, because it is a big investment, and Dan's right, we were kind of waiting just to make sure everything was in place. So, thank you. I agree with everything.
Thank you. Is there anyone on chat who would like to speak?
Dave. Do we have anybody on chat?
Nothing.
Okay, great.
On chat, okay. Seeing no further comment then, any further discussion amongst commission members before I close the public hearing? Okay, then may I have a motion to close the public hearing for application 22-17?
So moved.
And a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, the public hearing for application 22-17 is now closed. Any further discussion before we move forward? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion, Dan?
We do? Based on my error with Victoria that one time, I will just preference that we don't have to read everything, sorry. Unless you so desire.
I don't mind. I only have to read to, where? I have to read the whole thing, right?
I think for this one, yeah, sorry.
And all this too, Dan?
No, definitely, no.
Not this?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh,
just this first paragraph?
Just that, yeah. Yeah, so we'll save you on that.
okay,
We'll let you off easy.
thank you. I
Story time
would
with
have been
Victoria.
going, would have been going. Motion to approve application 2217, proposed amendments to the Town of Portland zoning regulations, Article 2 definitions to amend people, Article 2 definitions to add cannabis, cannabis establishments, cultivator, delivery service, dispensary facility, food and beverage manufacturer, hybrid retailer, micro cultivator, product manufacturer, product packager, retailer, transporter. Article 5.1, permitted uses business zones. Article 6.1, permitted uses industrial zones. Article 9.18, cannabis. Add Article 19.18.1, locational requirements.
Nope, I thought I made a mistake. No, we're good.
Application of the Town of Portland Planning and Zoning Commission with changes and/or clarifications to the proposed text amendment as follows.
Yeah, you're all set.
And I guess if there just is a reasons,
I don't think I put any reasons.
okay.
Okay.
May I have a second to the motion then?
Seconded.
Okay, we'll now vote, beginning with Victoria.
Aye.
Chantel?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
It's Bob, I vote aye. Any opposed? There would be none. Okay, the application is approved. Okay, then we will move on to our next public hearing, which is for application 22-18, 34 Gospel Lane, proposed special permit for change of use to add 2,950 square foot gym business to existing building. Application and property of MJS Realty Ventures, LLC, map 31, lot 26, zone IP. May I have a motion to open the public hearing, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, public hearing for application 22-18 is now open. Would someone like to speak on behalf of this application?
Good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. My name is Chris Bell. I'm an engineer professional engineer from Hingham, representing the applicant. As you're aware, from the application, we have an existing 5,000 square foot building, a 4-bay garage on the west side of the building. The applicant would like to convert 3 of the bays, majority of 3 of the bays and partial the first bay to a gym area. We have submitted the application also to the building department for construction of a handicap bathroom, which will be required for an upgrade for the change in use. That is currently under the building permit. That permit was approved this afternoon. And is currently under construction. On the site plan, first of all, let me go over the site plan. Permission to share the screen, I think, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please, go ahead, Chris.
On the button to this. Did it come up yet?
No.
Most disabled participant screen share. I don't have the.
Yeah, I don't think they're enabled screen share.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah, that's probably fine. I think so. How about now, Chris? Can you screen share?
Trying to, hold on. Trying to get this screen bigger too. You're gonna get to it again. I'm having trouble with this.
I tried to see where this building was on the lot, I couldn't figure it out.
It's the big red building.
What is that building? So it's the back of it.
There's some part of it. It's the back.
Can you click on the security, on that security shield maybe?
Oh, he's up.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
You got it?
Yep.
All right.
Got it.
Hold on. Sorry about that.
It's okay?
Oops, this is the wrong section. I'm sorry, I picked the wrong one. This is the existing site. And this is the existing 5,000 square foot building, the entrance to the property. The existing parking is along north side of the building for the business that exists over here, which we'll get to the floor plan a little later. And here are the existing parking spaces that are there now. We will be adding these spaces to accommodate the extra amount of patrons that are required, the number of spaces for business use. Currently, the operation that the owner has for the truck repair over here, he doesn't have a full operation right now. He doesn't have salt in the area. Any of his trucks are off-site. They were hauled salt off-site. They do not have an operation here. Occasionally, the trucks come in here to get service. This access way, which was used for the truck access for the truck vehicles, now he's going to open the access over here that you gain here. He's going to come, all this truck traffic will come around, it will not be coming through this area where the parking will be for the gym patrons. So any of the operation of the trucks that they come in through will not be turning in here and upsetting any of the patrons coming in and out of here. And leaving, they will go the same way. Going out this way, there's plenty of storage here for queuing. If there's any traffic on Route 17, you can store 2 or 3 trucks in here, so they won't interfere with the parking or the access. I mean, again, there's only occasional truck that comes through here to try access. Right now, if he ever did do the salt operation and make the salt building that's in the back here, he would continue this operation through the gate that he has over in this area. And again, would not interfere with the gym operation that's over here. His weight scale from that site plan was just encroaching on this last space over here. He would just have to move it over several feet to have the operation have a weight scale in this area over here. I can get to the floor plan operation with the floor plan on another drawing with quarters per foot scale plan. These current, I should get to the lighting that exists out there. There's current street pole lighting. It's out in this area. There's a large street pole here that has 4 street lamps on it. These 3 lumens that are shown on here on the building are street light type lighting that shine out through here. And these are building lights over this area. There's also a pole light in this location, this location. There's more than ample lighting out here for the parking. Also, last week and early this week, the owner installed additional emergency lighting out in this area for walking to the entrance to the gym, which is over this area and this area, right next to where these lights are. This is the door here and the door here. He's got additional emergency lighting out here installed that the fire marshal looked at today. I'm going to move over to the floor plan now. And we can look at the interior part of the building. It's going to be separated. Can everyone see this plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Here we go. Currently, this area is the garage area, with 4 bays. area here is the existing office that supports the trucking operation. There is currently a wall separating the office area, comes right down through here, separates the office area from the garage area. This is an access door from the office into the garage area. What the owner is proposing, and actually he's constructing right now, this is a handicap bathroom. He wants to build a 8-foot high wall in this area. By the way, the ceiling height here is around 14 feet. 14 feet in the front, 16 in the back. He wants to build a partition wall that will separate the gym use from access to the current office area. The hallway that he's going to construct, again, is a 8-foot wall. He slightly changed some of the plans here. There's going to be a wall here with a doorway into the hall. There's still going to be an access door here into the hallway. What we have done for the permit process for the handicap bathroom is to change this doorway over to here and cut this hallway off. So the only access that the gym will have, the handicap bathroom will be coming in this access door, access door here into the bathroom. There will be an access door here in the bathroom. This will be closed off. This door will go into the office area here. There'll be a doorway over here that prevents anybody from the gym from going upstairs. There's a stairway here to an upper storage area, which is not shown in this door. But there is a access to an upper level. So this is basically the gym area. This was included as the business area because it supports the business hallway. This is still a storage area for S1 use, and under that use, the original use was a truck repair and truck part storage and S1 storage. He's not going to be using this for any vehicle repair or vehicle storage. It's only going to be used for some part storage, but mostly storage that supports this business use over here, and some storage that may support the gym here in some boxes of equipment. They will maintain an access across the storage area to get to the handicap area. There will be a ramp here, a landing area and a ramp across it, which is not shown in this drawing. Because there is a small step going from the slab here into the handicap path. Which is not shown here. Some of the improvements we have that was noted to the fire marshal. These doors will be switched to swing out as a normal exit door. These will also have some additional emergency lighting in the back of the gym to further illuminate the entire gym area so that accessway can be easily seen to the both exits here and here. There will be access into this hallway area that can go into the business area here, even after business hours, to use the existing bathroom here. We're required to have 2 bathrooms for the gym use. So we have a handicap unisex bathroom here, and also a unisex bathroom over here that is not here. That is in the kind of hallway area into this bathroom here. It's kind of a spillover area if anybody's using the main bathroom, they can go into the bathroom that's in the business area. The plan for this is to be open for a lot of open equipment. I do not have a layout for the equipment, which is still being done. That's going to be part of the building permit for this wall to ensure that we have proper egress access reading through the equipment. We did not have the plan for that at this time. But that will be part of the building permit for this area that is to be constructed, the 8-foot wall. Currently, the gym is expected to have approximately 50 patrons a day. We included that in the review of the septic design, ensure that the existing system would take it, and that's on the plan, has been submitted to the health district. And I have not received any comment back from health district.
I think we did email it to you, but it was just one of the yellow sheets with some comments from Jim on the bottom. They're very basic.
Okay, so with that, that's the basic presentation. We think this gym would be good for the area. We have in the narrative statement the hours of operation. I can briefly go through that if you wish. Can you get the narrative statement up?
Is there anything about how many bathrooms need to be for patrons?
Could you just speak in the mic, Victoria?
Is there any requirement for the number of bathrooms that you need
Yes.
for patrons? What,
It's required by the amount of square feet. It's required by the total number of allowable people in that square footage. With the number that we have, we have 59 allowable people to be fit into that space at one time. It's over 50 patrons, or 50 people, period. Once it's over 50, it has to have 2 bathrooms. And at least one has to be handicapped and unisex. So we are required that too.
Yeah, so all that's controlled by the building code.
I was just
Correct.
wondering.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
The hours of operation for the trucking office will continue to be 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to noon on Saturday. The gym will be open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, 6 p.m. to 7. All the activities will be inside the gym area. There is nothing proposed on the outside of the building. With that, that's basically my presentation. I will take a look at the comments from the health district to see if anything pertaining that has to be done. We did have a comment from the town engineer that we did not have the key map on the site plan. And we also have, was noted that we do have an existing approval from planning and zoning for the assault building, which was done in, approved in December 2020. Assault storage.
Yes.
Chris, the inside of the building, when I'm looking at the gym section of it, there are no windows at all in the building, in that area at all? Or,
Well, I think there's only glass in the overhead doors.
oh, okay, okay.
I believe there's lights in there. I believe.
How about signage for the gym, Chris?
I have nothing proposed for that. I would assume he's gonna have a sign, along where the existing DRVN sign is, in out in the middle of the lawn. And that'll be, we can apply for that, to make sure that meets some requirements.
Yeah, Bob, I put a condition in the motion that any signage meets our zoning regs.
Okay. Thank you.
And I mean, I would imagine that there's gonna be a bunch of different heating and ventilation requirements for this.
He has existing, heating and ventilation in there, the heating, the building was pretty heavily vented, because of the requirement for motor vehicle in there. You know, it's a very well, it's a conditioned space.
Okay. And you don't see any issue with, if the salt thing does happen, given that it would mean a lot of trucks driving in and out in a concentrated period of time, you don't see an issue with that, with people coming in and out of the same driveway?
Well, no, because it is going to be separated as far as where trucks go and where the parking is for trucks and the operation of that, and also for the gym. They're not really in the same traffic pattern. I mean, the worst that would happen is the gym patrons leaving the site might be back on the salt truck that's leaving one truck, because there's only be one truck loaded at a time to leave. And it would be assumed that the amount of time it takes to load a second truck, the first truck would leave and wait an hour, time to get out. But coming in the site, the trucks will go directly to the back, and they won't be held up on the queue to come in. We'll go directly to the back area. So there's no traffic pattern that would affect the gym, or a gym traffic pattern that would affect the trucks. They're totally separated. And please note that during the time of salt storage and exit, it happens to a small period of time. And, and they were very narrow window during the entire time of the year. It probably would only happen within like 2 weeks to bring the salt in during the time, and then as it goes out, it's only going to happen the day before, a snowstorm or an ice storm. Or during the time of an ice storm or snowstorm, which the gym, it's going to be questionable if the gym will be open during a very heavy snowstorm.
Okay.
The traffic shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, other questions for Chris from commission members? Okay, we'll open it up to questions or comments from members of the public. If anyone in the room would like to make a comment, please make your wishes known, or if you're on chat and you would like to comment, please do the same. Anything on chat? Nothing on chat, okay.
Yes, Pete Wilsey, building official. Chris, if you go back to that, the sketch you just had, look. The gym. All right, where it says storage, that's no longer storage. All of it is now where they had the gym equipment. So we're now having an occupant load of about 86 people.
I believe he's storing gym equipment there. He hasn't put it out on the floor.
It's all out on the floor set up. I was there today, it's all out set up. The only area where he has storage for his vehicles or for his business is on the mezzanine. That would be on the northeast, or excuse me, on the east wall, up on a mezzanine area.
Okay, so we're still with the 2 bathrooms.
Yep.
Required.
Yep.
And then parking spaces, we have extra parking spaces above that. So, I mean, site-wise, we still need it, the extra exits is still 2. It's still, I mean, the thought was to make sure we met requirements if he did want to expand in this area. I thought that was going to come in the near future. I didn't know the near future was today.
So Chris, in light of that, I want to amend the motion to make sure that the adequate number of parking spaces is added to the site plan based on the new floor plan and the patron load? Because this is the first I'm hearing of this. I think I'm just going to put that it's subject to a final administrative zoning review.
I mean, we have plenty of room to add more spaces, and I think what we have now is probably going to be adequate. But we can easily add another one or two, very easily.
In the bathroom, you don't need to add another, if you have 86 plus the office staff?
That includes the office area, whole business area.
Okay.
Pete, would you mind weighing in on that real quick?
All right, the gym area has an occupant load of 86 based on a total square footage of 4,324 feet at 50 square foot per person for that is what the building code calls for an exercise room. There are 3 or 4 people. When you need to go up to the third bathroom is when you're up to like 150, 200 people. So they have plenty of leeway with the number of bathrooms, so 2 is sufficient.
Thank you.
So parking and bathrooms, anything else we need to consider with the increased person count?
Your bathrooms are fine with the 2.
Right, yep.
We have 5 extra spaces now. So we have, other requirement, we've got 5 extra, so that's, should be able to handle it. And then if we wanted more, we have all this area to add spaces. We have a lot of area.
Yeah, so Chris, I'll have to evaluate that with you when you update the site plan, and just to make sure, and if anything's amiss, we'll have to handle it then and maybe send you back.
Emergency exits or anything like that?
Yeah, so, and obviously the fire marshal and Pete will not give a CO unless this meets building and fire code. So all that will be reviewed, regardless of the occupancy load.
Okay, any further questions or comments from members of the public? Either here in the room or online? On chat.
Nothing in chat.
Okay. Okay, hearing nothing further then, may I have a motion to close the public hearing for application 22-18?
So moved.
And a second?
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, public hearing for application 22-18 is closed. Any further discussion amongst commission members? Okay, hearing none then, do we have a motion, Dan?
We do.
Pass that one down to Chantel. Would you like her to read the entire thing?
Yeah, sorry, the conditions, yeah, we got it.
There you go.
Oh, okay, thank you. Motion to approve application 2218, 34 Gospel Lane, proposed special permit for change of use to add 2,950 square foot gym business to existing building. Application and property of MJS Realty Ventures LLC, map 31, lot 26, zone IP, as shown on a site plan entitled Site Plan Change of Use for Gym, dated 8/20/20. Really? Page SP1, floor plan dated 4/1/4/22, page A1, and based on all plans, renderings, and information submitted, testimony provided, and subject to the following instructions and conditions that are integral to this approval. 1, that this approval will expire in 5 years. 2, that 3 paper copies of the final revised plan and 1 Mylar be submitted to the Planning and Zoning Department for endorsement by an officer of the commission. The endorsed Mylar shall be filed on the land records within 90 days as per zoning regulations section 10.5.3.2.a. 3, that the certified letter of approval be placed on the revised final plan. 4, that any exterior light fixtures must comply with zoning regulations section 8 and must be approved by the zoning enforcement officer prior to installation. 5, that a zoning permit be issued prior to the start of activity associated with this approval. 6, that the applicant meet comments from the fire marshal's memo dated 1/19/23. 7, that the applicant address comments for the town engineer's memo dated 1/26/23. 8, that applicant meet all applicable building code and ADA requirements as required by the building code.
I have a question about that.
9, that any
Chantal, hold
signage,
on.
what?
One second, please.
That says 2950 square feet, right, in the beginning?
2950.
But
Yeah.
he just said it was 4,000.
Yeah, we should update that.
So-
I'm sorry, I was not aware of this increased size
Oh,
prior to Pete telling me this right now.
And so what is the number?
Chris, could you weigh in? Chris can't even weigh in. Just drop the number, and I would leave it at expanded space.
Uh, 9, that any signage requires a signage permit and must conform to zoning regulation 8.4. 10, that a zoning permit be issued prior to the start of activity associated with this approval. 11, final administrative permit review based on increased occupancy. Reasons, the proposal conforms to section 10 and 6 and 10.4 of the zoning regulations.
May I have a second to the motion, please?
Seconded.
Okay, we'll now vote. Victoria?
Aye.
Chantal?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Bob, I vote aye. Any opposed? There would be none. Okay, the application is approved. Okay, thank you. Okay, we will now move on to our regular meeting. And the first item on the agenda is application 22-16, and I believe we will not be discussing that item tonight.
Yeah, the applicant's not available to the March 2nd meeting.
Okay? Then we'll move on to our next application, which is 22-19, 185 Marlborough Street, proposed site plan review for a tattoo studio. Application of Stephen Guerin and property of Rosario Agostino, map 20, lot 202, zone B2. Would someone like to speak on behalf of this application?
Yes, I would. Good evening. Steve Gary, yeah, I'm looking to open up an upscale tattoo studio on 185 Marlborough Street. It's also going to include retail sales of crystal and jewelry. It's pretty basic. It's an open floor plan. The only thing that's going to separate the waiting area from the actual work area is going to be display cases with the jewelry and crystal. So there's not going to be no build out. The unit will stay as is. It already has, the exit in the back and the main entrance in the front, emergency exit in the back. It's got a handicap bathroom already, brand new air conditioning and heating, ventilation. So it's pretty cut and dry. There's really nothing I have to do besides, painting, doing the floor and decor.
Mhm.
Other than that, it's not going to require any kind of build out whatsoever.
Should we do questions?
Yeah, if anyone has questions, yeah.
I had a question about, you just said that you have the handicap bathroom and you don't really have to do anything else, but there is a hand sink showed. Is the hand sink already there, or?
No,
you're gonna-
he had he was going to put a water fountain there,
Uh-huh.
and I told him I'd rather have a hand sink instead.
Okay,
For, people that are working, they can wash their
Okay.
hands without having to go into the
Right.
bathroom. So I
okay.
have it as a hand washing
All right.
station.
And I saw somewhere on the write-up that, let's see, where did I see? Something about the number of chairs. It was in reference to, I think, the number of parking spaces, the number of chairs, but, it
Are you
looks like-
referring to Jeff's memo?
I don't know what I'm referring to. Wait a second, let me get this straight. There was something about, I saw something that said 2 chairs, but I see 6 tables on here. So I was confused about that, because the floor plan shows 6 tables, correct? Oh, I think it was like the number of people, there are gonna be 3 people potentially working there, and 5 or 6 parking spaces, whichever, depending on how I read this. So if 3 people are working there, but if you have 6 tables, you could potentially have, I don't know, it just seemed like it seemed like you could potentially have more people there than what was being shown, and that was my question. There are 6 tables, right?
Well, there's none now. I'm only starting off with probably 2.
Oh,
I just did it as a floor, it's a possible floor plan, it can fit that much.
oh, I see, okay.
So I don't know if I'm gonna actually have 6, probably not. But there is, people do get dropped, it's by appointment only, so there's not a lot of people there at the same time, and people do get dropped off and picked up. And that parking lot's generally empty, because the bridal salon is, only when there's a wedding and it's by appointment. They'll come in and, the smoke shop, people come in, they pick up what they're picking up and they leave. So it's mostly, the most cars I ever see there is probably 2 or 3 cars. So if you have, you have a few artists and myself, some people get picked up and dropped off. I don't see, with all the parking that's there, I don't see it being an issue.
Okay. Oh, here it was on here. It
On
says-
the narrative.
Yeah, it was on the narrative. It says 2 to 3 chairs. And then so that's my question. It said 2 to 3 chairs somewhere, but then I saw 6 tables. So what you're saying is that you're gonna start off smaller.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
Stephen,
and I
I,
never get this, I just mapped it out that way because it fits in that square footage,
Okay.
so I don't really know how many I'll end up with.
yeah, so I would say right now, the approval would be for three technicians, and if you'd like to go beyond that, we'd have to reevaluate the parking situation.
Gotcha.
Does that sound okay?
Okay, sure.
And then I just had a question about what everything wrapped means in this.
Oh, we were talking about sanitation, all tattoo equipment is wrapped in plastic, and then it's re-wrapped in between each customer. Everything's sanitized and wrapped, there's special wrap for whether it's cords or machines or anything, and everything's done with rubber gloves. So if somebody goes to the bathroom, they get a drink, they do anything, they have to change gloves. You probably know this, right? So, yeah, so it's probably sanitary, as far as waste goes. You have medical waste receptacles you have to have. By state law, so they dispose of all their tattoo stuff with a medical receptacle. You have to hire somebody to come pick it up every month, just like you would do needle waste or whatever.
All right, thank you.
And do we have the signage disclaimer in the motion?
We do.
Okay.
And I think I read that this doesn't have to be, Chatham Health doesn't really review this. What did I read?
So this is something that Jim looked at and spoke with Steve about regarding health requirements. Chatham Health, and I think it's partly because the salon went next door. The Chatham Health District has some very thorough regulations regarding salons, but they really don't have much for tattoos. So it really just goes back to what the state requires.
Okay.
I think the only comment from Jim was that the tattoo technicians needed to be licensed,
Right.
which,
That's by state law.
Right.
You can't tattoo without a license. Unless they're an apprentice and they're directly supervised by a licensed tattoo artist and they're teaching and they don't have their license yet. But it's like 2,000 hours of apprenticing to get your license. It takes quite a while. But the only time they can do that is if they're actually right next to being under direct supervision of a licensed tattoo artist, which aren't easy to get, but you can't have anybody doing tattoos without it.
yeah, and I did put that the applicant, for a condition, the applicant, complies with the comments of the Chatham Health District was basically just
It's just state.
meet state requirements, yeah.
Okay. Further questions? Okay, then do we have a motion, Dan?
I think, do you want to close the public hearing?
Not put. no.
Oh, okay, yep, you're right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Confusing myself.
Pass that down to Rob.
All right,
motion to approve application number 22-19, 185 Marlborough Street, proposed site plan review for a tattoo studio. Application of Stephen Guerin and property of Rosario Augustino, map 20, lot 202, zone B-2, as shown on site floor plan as well as narrative and based on information submitted, testimony presented during hearing, and subject to the following instructions and conditions integral to this application. 1, that the applicant complies with the comments from the Chatham Health District. 2, that the certified letter of approval be filed on the land records within 180 days per ZR regulation 10.5.3.2.a. These requirements must be met prior to the issuance of a zoning permit. 3, that a zoning permit application be submitted in accordance with ZR section 11.1.1.a to ensure compliance with this approval. 4, that any exterior light fixtures must comply with ZR section 8.3 and be approved by zoning enforcement officer prior to installation. 5, any proposed signage shall meet ZR section 8.4. 6, that this approval will expire in 5 years. Reasons: the proposal conforms to section 5 and 10.5 of the zoning regulations.
May I have a second to the motion, please?
Second.
Okay, we'll now vote. Victoria?
Aye.
Chantel? Rob?
Aye.
Ken? Aye. Bob, I vote aye. Any opposed? There would be none. Okay, the application is approved.
Cool. Can I sense about the sign, it says stuff about the signage in there. Do I know how big the sign can be? Because the lighting's already there.
Yeah,
Three units already have the
it's in-
lighting, so
it's-
I imagine that's approved already.
It's in the zoning regs, so we'll just go through it. You'll need to pull a sign permit.
Oh, okay, so this come down to do a sign permit?
Yeah, and you'll need an admin permit once you're ready to move into the business. So just give me a call and I'll walk you through everything.
Okay, cool.
All right?
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. All right.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay, then we'll move on to our next application, which is 22-20. 127 Main Street, proposed site plan review for a new two-story, 40,850 square foot commercial storage unit building. Application of property of SROA 127 Main Street LLC, map 19, lot 75, zone I. Would someone like to speak regarding this application?
Yes, hi, this is Aaron Mackey with Kinley Horn. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Again, my name is Aaron Mackey. I'm with Kinley Horn, civil engineers representing the owner of Storage Rentals of America. Also on the line with Storage Rentals of America, we have Paul Rage and Andrew O'Neill. And Dave Kaplan's on the line with Oliver Architects as well. Paul and Andrew, do you want to jump in first and just kind of give an overview of Storage Rentals of America, and then I can get into the site plan?
Sure, this is Bill Rage. I'm Vice President of Development with Storage Rentals of America. We're based in West Palm Beach, Florida. We have about 400 stores nationally. We're a specialty manufacturing company. We own this site. I think we purchased it about a year or two ago. It's a great site for us. Does very well. We have a lot of fans in the community. We're full here. And so we're just looking to expand. We're professionally managed. We manage every unit gets 100 pieces that prevent any storage of any hazardous materials or anything. We don't allow people to live in the units. This is a staff site. We have on-site management. We're just looking to design a nice site that'll be diverse for the community and meet the existing demand that's there. So turn it back over to my engineer.
Perfect, thanks, Paul. So with that, I'd like to share the site plan. If you don't mind, I can share my screen.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think we have to go through the same exercise. It says most disabled participants to share screen sharing.
Okay, you're now no, it should be co-host, so try again. Okay.
Great. Can
Yep.
you all see that?
Yes.
So here's the existing conditions of the site. It's situated on Main Street and Wolcott Ave. The proposed building expansion is gonna sit in the corner here. The existing site is approximately 5 acres. One existing building here in the center and also 2 drive-up storage units over here to the east. Looking at the site plan, proposed site plan. Again, you can see the proposed building situated in the northwest corner. We're looking to add parking up front in the loading zone up front of the building. It's going to be a climate controlled storage facility. Gross square feet is 40,850. So the footprint is actually 20,425 square feet. Take a quick look at the zoning table setbacks. We're meeting all the required setbacks with front yard 25, side yard 20, rear yard 20. Parking demand for the site. We looked at the parking requirements for the storage uses, which is really just per employee. We don't anticipate more than 2 employees at one time, requiring 1 space. Part of this submittal, Storage Rentals of America would like to convert approximately 7,900 square feet of existing building to office, which would require 32 spaces. So we've accommodated that by striping the required spaces in the front. There's no striping today. We still meet the drive aisle width here to edge of pavement or to property line. Okay, moving on. So zoomed in. Just a little more detail here. So the building, again, meeting all the setbacks, front yard and side yard. I'd like to just take a look here. So looking at the Google Earth, the building is going to be completely situated within this existing asphalt area, and the remainder of asphalt to building, we're gonna loam and seed to the building. So you're actually going to have a lot more green space. We're going to propose 8,600 square feet more of green space on the site. So getting into the stormwater calculations, we're going to improve stormwater runoff with a reduction and also quality of runoff with the increase in green space. And also the removal of all the surface parking and converting to roof. Stormwater is going to be much cleaner for the site. So moving on, we can just take a quick look at the drainage plan here. So we're going to reroute drainage from that's on site that runs through with new catch basins at the new parking lot and tying into an existing drainage line that's actually serving the site today. In the utility plan, existing gas and water on site, we're going to tie into the water and also the gas service. And also sewer. We're going to pick up existing sewer from the building and run a new connection, which will also grab the proposed building and office. So with that, David, I can flick over to the architectural sheets
Yeah,
if you want to run through them.
that'd be great. Let's get the middle of our next one. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Going to the next page. So, the floor plan of the building is very, very simple. There is going to be a sales office. You zoom in there on that bottom corner there, Aaron. There will be a sales office with a restroom, a shared restroom, an elevator, and a small break room in that corner. The main entry there is going to be on the south facing parking area. But then the rest of the building, as you can see, is, as you probably expect, just a large group of storage. We have different size storage units throughout the building. That's the first floor plan. If you go to the next sheet, please, and zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Second floor really is just 2 fire stairs, elevator lobby, elevator, and just all rentable storage units. Very, very straightforward. If you go to the elevations, or the next page is the roof plan, excuse me. And it's going to be, this is a pre-interior metal building. So it's going to be a metal building roof, standing seam roofing. You'll see that we've included that sort of cupola design, if you will, to bring in some of the language in the existing building that's on the property today. So if you go to those elevations, yeah. You can see that cupola there with the roofing, which would again proceed to match the existing color on that existing storage building. What we tried to do here with the design is that the 2 facades of this building that are facing the main roads, Main Street and Walcott Lane, there we're proposing to use an exterior insulation finish system better known as EIFS to give it a little bit nicer look. You can also note that we have a lot of punched openings as well. Those openings will bring light to the building. We have corridors on either side, but also just give a little bit nicer look to property. You'll note as well that the existing building on the right there also has similar storefront openings, so we're just again trying to pick up another language element from the site as it is today. Yeah, go ahead to the 3D, it's a little better image here. You can zoom in and go to that first one here on the upper left. Yeah, so there's the main entry, the canopy. And then there is an extra set of doors there for after hours folks that don't need to go into the office. They can just go into the building through those sliding doors. And then as we turn around and look at the other main facades of the property, the building rather, you'll see the EIFS design, the punched openings. There is going to be some proposed signage located facing the Main Street. That's Storage of America's typical sign. We do have those square footages listed on our elevations, and they are within the requirements of the open zoning code. In the photographs, you can see again, Aaron showed you the existing building. We're not going to have that same color on that building. Instead, we're going to do the much lighter panels that you see in those drive-up buildings that are further down the street. That photo on the bottom left there are the 1-story drive-up buildings with a ivory/white color that we're going to use for the majority of the metal panels on the building. And then there'll be 2 different colors of EIFS to give the property some interest. A light beige color that you see in that rendering, and then an ivory color for where we're showing the white. I did mention the other 2 facades, the north and the east, are all going to be traditional metal, or good metal panels that you often see on interior metal buildings. They're really not very visible. And again, priority was given more to the main facades of the building. And that's about it. I'm happy to take any questions about the building or questions about the site.
Do you have any plans for planting along the building?
So at this time, we were planning on loam and seed to match the existing condition and maintain the trees that are existing on site. Because right now we have proposed pavement, and we were just gonna replace it with loam and seed to match existing. But I'm sure Storage Rentals is open to suggestions and what the board would like to see for any landscape.
I think that this is the first building that you encounter when you come into town from the bridge. So it's going to be the first introduction to Portland. I think I'd like to see some kind of plan for planting other than just loam and seed, personally.
Okay,
I agree.
okay.
You know, this is the Welcome to Portland building, so, you know, you're going into our village district immediately after passing your building, and then, we're hoping to have a beautiful development just after you as well. So, aesthetics
Yeah, no,
are
certainly,
very
I'm
important.
sure Storage Rentals of America, they do great work and great development, so I'm sure they're amenable to some landscaping, and we can coordinate with our landscape architects on what they would recommend, and if you have some recommendations on plantings you would like to see, certainly would like to see that, so.
I agree, this is Bill Raish. We can work with our landscape architect and work with staff on presenting something that would satisfy you.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
So my questions are the appearance of this building from, I think you said the north and east sides, which are not really visible from the street. And I appreciate the effort you're taking to match the other building from the street views, but the other views will be from the new Brainerd Place. And I'm just wondering what the appearance is gonna look like from that perspective.
Yeah, I'd like to see some plantings along there as well,
Some plantings.
trees and something. Because otherwise, you're just looking at a big metal wall.
Right.
That's,
So I will make one comment, and this is something that our town engineer is working out with Aaron and his team. There is an easement in that area, a sewer easement, and a drainage easement running through there. And so I think we need to be conscious about what plantings could go there that would not disrupt that infrastructure in the future and would still allow access there. So those options may be limited.
Are you talking about across here?
Correct. Yeah. So, and that is something that's being worked on.
I don't see it on, is it on
It's
here?
on the, I believe, the original site plan, existing conditions.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if it's shown, but right now is a 15-foot easement, I believe, shown. It's actually, yeah, drainage easement. And then it's actually potentially a 25-foot and change easement, depending on what's discovered in the ground. The Water and Sewer Department, the Public Works Director, and Jeff Jacobson, the town engineer, are all working on that to provide feedback to the applicants so that they can amend their application.
so the chain link fence then is on what side of the trees that are there? There's an existing
I believe
line of
that.
trees there, right?
Right, yeah, so the chain link fence is on the applicant's property.
And the trees are on,
I believe they're kind of on both. I think it goes back and forth. But yeah, there are some trees on that north side. Some had to be taken down recently for infrastructure work that was done for Brainerd Place. And Brainerd Place is tying into that easement, so what stays there, I'm not sure, but certainly I will work with the applicant in our Public Works Director, Water and Sewer Department, and the town engineer to see if it would be appropriate to have some landscaping there, and then we'll provide that feedback to the applicant, and then they can report back to you.
maybe they could work together with Brainerd and figure out a way to.
Well, so Brainerd's approved, so, I mean, they already have their landscaping plan. So we can certainly,
Does it include anything along that border?
They included some of the original trees, but I don't think they
I
were,
don't think they made it.
some of those were taken down because they were in poorer state, than previously realized. I can go back and look at the approval to see what they have between there, but I think it was mainly just existing vegetation.
What color is that wall? It's black in this drawing.
No, it would be, that's Mr. Stevens' channel, not positive. Aaron, can you go to the previous page? It's going to be the white units. Yeah, so this is without, the perspective sunlight, if you will. So, you can see the bottom, on the right side at the very bottom is the white colored units. Yeah, that one on the bottom there is facing that property line question. Yes.
I wonder if something other than white might be more attractive. So, might go away more when you look at it. But it's big space.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too much into those types of details, because it's also their building too. And it's gonna be a brand-new building, so it's gonna look nice either way. I mean, they put a lot of effort in here to add some design elements to it, so it doesn't just look like a plain building.
Right.
Yeah, just to remind the board, it's a site plan review, so we don't have as much latitude in terms of what you can ask the applicant for. I think landscaping certainly is appropriate, but we're kind of, we don't have the same legislative latitude, or you guys don't, that you would with, say, a special permit in terms of the requirements.
Okay, so how did we leave the landscaping in that area then, that we do the best we could with, given the easement and the infrastructure that needs?
Yeah, for that part, so I'll work with the applicant, I'll work with the applicant and their landscape architect, try to provide them some feedback with some native plants. Maybe I'll reach out to our master gardener again, for a little insight. And then, we can work with them on trying to find something that you think looks a little more attractive.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments by commission members? Okay, hearing none then, do we have
Did we?
were we going to vote on this?
Yeah,
No, we can't.
we don't have any,
Yeah, we don't have the
any
engineering
judges.
review, so yeah, there are gonna be amendments to this, based on, feedback that we give the applicant, and then about conditions on the ground. So,
So when are we gonna hear this, when are we gonna?
I think ideally, the applicant would like to move as quickly as possible, so I know the town is working to try to get them their information as soon as possible, so, I'm sure we'll at least have an update, if not be ready to go at the next meeting. We'll just have to see, what the conditions on the ground dictate for changes and how fast that can be turned around. But certainly, I think the applicant would like to move as quickly as possible, so we'll try to assist them with that.
Would that include the landscaping?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. I think we'll certainly have something with the landscaping back to you next meeting, and we can certainly talk about that. The real question is how the easement affects the building.
Okay.
And I did have one question. Where is that water? You said it's, all of the drainage is kind of in place, and there is less after the building is in place, because there's going to be less pavement and more green space. There's going to be less runoff. But where is that water going? It's going directly into a sewer drain? Is that pretty much, you're using all existing drainage that's there? Is that pretty much what's happening?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so we're going to improve the existing drainage system and connect to it. So you can see the existing drainage line that comes through the site. We're actually going to add a treatment device as well, this separation device
Okay.
to treat this parking lot we're putting in before we tie into the existing system. But the existing on-site drainage that flows through, we're rerouting here and tying in as well. So you have the proposed parking lot and then also what's going on-site and tying into the existing system, which all this pavement that's on-site here, existing, does go to one catch basin here and another catch basin on-site. So we've studied it out that all the stormwater that falls on that pavement does go to the municipal system, and we're gonna increase the flows in the proposed situation because of the landscaping addition.
Okay. And I saw you have a bunch of downspouts on the roof of the building, and that's going into,
Another connection to the municipal. So there is a catch basin here on site
Yeah.
that discharges at this location. So these downspouts will tie into this underground drainage system and connect to the system here.
okay. Okay, but we're still gonna talk about this, the whole shebang,
Yeah.
like parking and all that.
Yeah, the public hearing will be open. That's my recommendation, to keep it open, so the applicant can provide amendments and stuff like that. So all I did prepare tonight was a motion to continue.
Okay. Then we'll take that, unless anybody has further questions. I'll take this one. Motion to continue application 22-20, 127 Main Street, proposed site plan review for a new two-story, 40,850 square foot commercial storage unit building. Application of property of SROA, 127 Main Street LLC, map 19, lot 75, zone I. May I have a second to the motion, please?
Second.
Okay, and then we will now vote. Victoria?
Aye.
Chantel?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Bob votes aye. Any opposed? There would be none. Okay, the motion is approved. So we'll talk in the future.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
look forward to talking next hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
You good?
Two.
All right, then, we will move on to...
Oh, we'll get you copies.
Let's see, next item of business is old business. And the first item there is electric vehicle charging stations. Yep, anything?
So there is a bit of an update on this. There's been a lot of discussion on a planning listserv that we have regarding this law that was passed that we kind of discussed briefly. So in place, I'm going to be bringing to you guys a regulation change for parking. Per state statute, and the way the law was written is not very clear as to who's responsible for ensuring this, but any new development, not an existing approval that may come in for a modification, but any new development with 30 or more parking spaces will be required to have 10% of those parking spaces served by electric vehicle charging stations. So I do have concerns that this is going to make medium-sized developments more challenging to be affordable, because it is going to be costly to put in these level 2 chargers. You know, you're talking $10,000 to $15,000 per charging station. So it does add up. You know, you could be talking $50,000 more for, you know, a 30-space development. So that's something I'll be adding to the regs, and then we certainly can explore any other additions or requirements or anything like that that the commission may want to place on electric vehicle charging stations, or we can simply have the you know, the building code control in terms of where they can go.
Now, is the state offering any kind of like rebates or tax incentives
Right.
to help out
Yeah.
with this?
It does not. All it does is say the town could require more if they so chose. So, no.
But the town can't require less.
Correct. But it doesn't say who's supposed to require what. It doesn't definitively say, this should be controlled by zoning or by what. It just leaves it out there that this should happen. So I don't think it's appropriate for the Board of Selectmen to make this requirement. Clearly, it would fall, I think, under your purview. So I think it's appropriate to put it in the regulations. We have the option of not putting it in the regulations and just having that be a requirement. But, I think we should have it in our regs so it's clear that, yeah, this is a requirement, so people making application will know that.
Okay, next item then is Riverfront Overlay Zone.
Yeah, so Bob had sent me some information on this that kind of broadened a little bit of the scope in terms of what that commission was thinking. I can share that with you guys. I also found a file in my office that has a lot of the information that I believe Mary was working with that group in terms of trying to determine what they wanted to do. But still, I think the goal should be, and I'll share what Bob shared, and I probably should have done that earlier, to you guys so you can see exactly what they had in mind for water-dependent uses and kind of the restaurant idea. And then, depending on what you want to do, maybe make additions to those, to the riverfront overlay zone of different uses you think might be appropriate there and might enhance any RFP the town puts out in terms of chances that gets picked up by a private entity.
Okay, so that'll be our involvement then, will be to consider changing regulations based on this brownfield focus groups, the results of what.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can really go any direction you want with that. It doesn't just have to be for that brownfield site, it'll be for the whole riverfront overlay zone. So it's just, if you think more, an expansion of the uses there would be beneficial for that area.
But the thinking is that if it's in our regs, then it might make it more appealing for someone to submit an RFP.
Well, yeah, so if we do an RFP, we would need to, because it's industrial zone is the base zone, and then the riverfront overlay adds some things that would make that area more attractive to development. It's really just then seeing what we have in the industrial zone, seeing what we already have, and seeing if there are any gaps that you'd like to fill in terms of uses for that area.
Okay, does that make sense, what our charge is, or will be? Okay. Okay, then we'll move on to staff report. Any correspondence?
We have none.
Brainerd Place update.
I'm not 100% sure that they got the information back from the ICC. We were waiting on a letter, but they're digging the hole for the building, so it looks like, they'll be pouring concrete hopefully soon.
Okay. So we'll move on then to public comment. The commission will now hear any brief comments from a member of the public. There is no one here in the room, no one on chat? Okay, then we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from January 19th. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, so, thank you. Present at that meeting were myself, Victoria, Chantel, Carolyn, and Robert. So we do have a quorum. So may I have a motion then to approve the minutes from January 19th?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, the minutes from January 19th are approved.
I did.
May
Oh,
I
I
have-
don't think so. I don't know. Is it me?
I think it was you.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned.
Yes. Thank you, Bob.
My pleasure.
Just so you all know, I'm pretty unhappy with the applicant from 34 Gospel, and they're gonna get held to the 2950, so they're probably gonna come back in front of you.
I'm sorry, the what?
The applicant from 34 Gospel, the gym,
For the
Oh.
gym.
because that's what I noticed, so that's what they're getting. I'm not happy with him. The whole submission with him has